Man, got around. OG Silverback here. Welcome back to the channel, guys, where I'm going to give it to you real and raw and straight and tough and rough. So that you, my friend, shall know the deal. No man shall ever be able to deceive you, dude, mislead you, or beguile you, dude. Because you can never say that nobody didn't tell you you didn't know. When you come over here, guys, you can go anywhere else for the lies, but here I'm going to give you the truth because the truth will set you free and you understand one thing and one thing only in this life. You'll be able to make informed and educated decisions because sometimes, dude, when you make a decision and the lack of information is called an ignorant decision. It just means you lack the necessary information to make an informed and educated and calculated decision. Because I always tell you this, guys. Measure twice, cut once. Always step back and think and ponder before you open your mouth or you make an action. Because in this life, guys, it comes down to the decisions you make and the actions you take. That's all life is. Do I decide to use drugs or not? Do I decide to rob this person or not? Do I decide to smoke this fool or not? Do I decide to go to school or not? Do I decide to get up or stay in bed? It all comes down to you. And remember this phrase, guys. And say this to yourself daily. If it's up to me, if it's to be, it's up to me. And once you get down to that, it's called self-realization, dude. Self-accountability and self-actualization. And you see the denominator and all these words that I'm giving you, affirmation is self. You're the most number one important person in your life, dude. So whether you believe in God or Allah or Buddha or Yahweh or Jehovah or Elohim or whatever you believe in, second to that, you are the number one thing on this planet. Not your parents, not your kids, not your children, not your girlfriend, not your employer. Because let me tell you something. You will always, always look out for yourself. So without further ado, I'm getting to the top of today's video, guys. I want to make a disclaimer to the youngsters, man, and the guys looking for quick answers and immediate gratification. The Pop-Tart generation, dude. The add hot water, stir top ramen noodle soup eating cats, man. Hey, this is going to be a long video because I'm going off book, off script. I'm going to share with you my experiences. And this is the first in the video series I decided to make because, dude, I'm going to tell you guys something. Hey, man, I got so much to do. And I want to answer some questions here you guys talking about in the comments section, man. You know, this was funny. And so, on the one hand, I appreciate your comments because it shows interactiveness. I would only ask that you step back before you comment to me and say, is this going to offend OG Silverback? Is he going to take it? Is he going to misconstrue what I'm saying? It can be taken out of context. Here's why. While I appreciate the comments, if you're coming at me disrespectfully, dude, I have to channel my negative response and come back with something positive. So all I'm saying is step back and think before you type your little keyboard stuff. Because here's what some guys are saying to me. Oh, gee, if you're an American, you mean to tell me you just can't leave a country when you feel like it? So let me explain to you guys something. I'm going to explain to you 3 different things before I get into the topic of today's video. Topic number 1, getting a passport and getting a visa, a tourist visa, going to any country that you choose to do, meeting the visa requirements is one thing. It's called tourism. It's a tourist visa, dude. When you look to retire or to live or become an expatriate in a different country other than the United States, dude, there's laws, rules, regulations, applications, visas, man, and all kind of paperwork and hoops you have to jump through in order to become, I don't want to say naturalized or citizenized, but to be able to stay there past your visa, you have to meet certain criteria. One, for an example, is called an ACR. It's an alien certification of registration. You have to register your address, your phone number, why you're living there, what's your plan to be there. You have to go down to immigration. You have to apply for this. In some places, you have to even have a fingerprints, dude. Every country's different. So then once you apply for an alien registration or certification or certificate, it's almost like a green card. You have to state what you're there for: business, pleasure, investments, family, whatever it is. So then at the end of that stay, you have to apply for what's called an exit country certificate, dude. It don't matter if you're an American or European. Once you became an expatriate, you have tried to naturalize yourself into that society, dude, or that culture. Hey, man, there's rules and regulations and paperwork to exit the country. They got to make sure that you haven't made any illegal business transactions. You haven't been part of any illegal drug trafficking, sex trafficking. There's a lot of stuff goes on in these other countries that the American news doesn't tell you about. I'm not here to debate that or enlighten you. I'm just telling you, it's one thing to travel as a tourist. It's a whole nother thing, dude, to actually live somewhere and become an expatriate. And here's last but not least, dude, if you start opening up bank accounts, dude, and you start going through the legal processes of doing business with a naturalized citizen in these countries, dude, and purchasing real estate, things that a guy who has his head on straight, man, if you're going to be living somewhere, you want to be able to generate passive income. You starting doing business with these naturalized citizens, bro, it's a process to leave. Why is that important? Why is I'm sharing that with you? If you're making the comments like you don't believe there's a process to fucking leave a foreign country when you've been living there, then you haven't been traveling, my friend. But I'm here to educate you and enlighten you that going somewhere as a tourist and you're doing like a 1 week trip or a 3-day trip or even a 2-week trip on a tourist visa, you going there and you sightseeing and you're going back is a whole nother thing as becoming an expatriate or trying to go through the naturalization process or trying to live there on a retirement visa or work visa or an education visa. It's a different thing. So hopefully you guys got it. I didn't take your comments in a negative way. I'm just sharing with you. That's why you should get a passport and start traveling as much as you can. Every year, make it a goal to travel to a different place. Maybe one year you go to Europe. Next year you go to South America. Next year you go to Asia. And next year you go to like Africa or somewhere like that. Just travel, man, and see different ways of life, and you have an appreciation for your life, and you have a respect for other cultures, man, that you don't get to see on the news or the fake media. How that leads into the topic of today's video, guys, is, hey, man, I need to get back to take care of my mom, dude. And this is the whole thing, man. You guys come on here. I don't know if you're trolling, or you ignorant, or you a dumb motherfucker, or you got your head in the sand, or you ain't been exposed to something. But see, aging and getting elderly and sickness is part of the life process. If you live to be past your teens or 20s or 30s, hey, man, you're going to experience sickness and death and the decline in your health. So while I'm on here sharing with you guys, man, my Muay Thai, my kickboxing, and my weightlifting, you guys, you youngsters, you haters on here talking about, oh, gee, you weak and you soft and you can't fight and your coordination's off. You missing the gems I'm sharing with you. I'm giving you a glimpse into the future, what it's like, what it's going to be like for you if you're lucky enough to make it into your 60s, where you can still train in kickboxing and Muay Thai and judo and jiu-jitsu and boxing and karate and running and jumping and lifting weights, if you're still able to do that. And if you have the forethought to look into the future to see if you're even going to be able to live that long, you're going to understand as you get into your 60s, your parents get into their 80s and 90s, man. And I want to share this with you because it goes into the topic of today's video. If you have any gumption or cojones about you, I don't give a damn if your mom was like Tupac's mom was a crack addict, or your mom was like 50 Cent's mom's, or Curtis Jackson, whatever his name is. She was selling crack cocaine, or your mom was a gangster, or she was a 304 or IG model. The fact that she birthed you and brought you into this world, man, and the fact that you have life, hey, man, you should give, in my opinion, you should give homage to your mother and father. No matter if they weren't there for you, if they were a bad parent, why? It's called a cosmic debt. It's called playing forward, dude. The person that brought you life into this world, even if they didn't give you a good life, you want to do penance and do good for them. You always want to return kindness for evil. And I know it's a hard thing, but here's how it starts at home. If you can't show love to the people who, man, made love and brought you into this world, dude, what does that really say about you? See, it's not about, let me tell you something, guys, about forgiveness. When you forgive somebody, you're not really doing it for them. You're doing it for you. You're trying to vibrate on a higher level. Like this one heavy cat, his name Amin Shakur, man, he's really turned me on to a lot of deep thought processes and things that I wasn't aware of. He told me like this, and when he talked to me about reincarnation, I'm not saying I believe in it, but he helped me to understand his perception of it. He's saying that when you're here on this plane of existence, dude, you can never practice a virtue in solitude. So what does that mean? Like me, I have to practice patience and calmness and nonviolence, dude, and suaveness and sophistication. I can't practice it, dude. I can't practice it in the solitude of my house. I can think I'm the most calm, sophisticated, charming dude in the world. I have to be out in Walmart, like when I was with my teenage daughter, and we waiting to, I used to send money to my other daughters and stuff for my grandkids and stuff like that, family members, because they didn't have bank accounts. I would send money through Western Union. So you got to stand in these long lines at Walmart because there's 10 teller stations, but only one teller. So you stand in line for hours, guys, and then all of a sudden these gang member dudes, these Norteños just going to cut in the line. As you get closer to the teller, they're going to cut in the line, and security doesn't say nothing, the teller doesn't say anything. So I got to stand up for what I believe in. I say, hey, my man, like, check this out, man. Do you not see me standing here? Hey, Holmes, who are you, Holmes? Hey, Holmes, I'm the guy that's been standing in line for 1 hour, man, or 2 hours or 3 hours, man. And I'm waiting to get my turn. So if you want to cut the line, man, be more than happy than cut behind me. You cut in front of these people, but I'm speaking up for myself. Hey, Holmes, you know who I am, Holmes? Hey, Holmes, all I know is this. I'm respectfully asking you, man, to respect the fact that my time is just as valuable as yours, if not more invaluable. I took the time to stand in line. I'm respectfully asking you, cut in line behind me, man. And no matter who you are, man, I'm telling you, man, you ain't going to cut in front of me, man, because if I can't live free, I'd rather die hard. And when I die, I'm going to take you and your homies with me. And this, hey, YouTube, this is for educational purposes only, and this is entertainment purposes. I love everybody. I hug doggies and kitty cats, and I help old ladies cross the street and shit. But while I'm talking, I got my hand in my pocket, man. And like I told this one dude who tried to jack me when I was waiting on the bus when I first got out of prison, I said, hey, man, let me explain something to you, man. I don't know you. I don't want them to get to know you, but I'm going to tell you what, man. If you make me pull my hand out of my motherfucking pocket, whatever I got in my hand, motherfucker, you're going to eat it. And you're going to eat all of it, man, right before you meet Jesus, man. So please rethink and reconsider what the fuck you doing, because you met the right one, baby. I don't give a fuck about dying today, but I'm going to take your bitch ass with me, man. So then when they look at my congruence and my confidence and my assertion, dude, it gives them time to rethink what they doing, man. So that's all I'm saying, guys. I need to practice stoicism, dude, and righteousness and love and being a sophisticated polymath out in public where you got people going to always try. You always got an ignorant motherfucker. You always got a loudmouth motherfucker. You always got the bullying type. But this is the only way you get to hone your skills and practice love and quietness, dude, and compassion. So I'm saying that, man, I got to get back here and take care of my mom. She's got a second open heart surgery, dude, and she got a lot going on, and her husband's an invalid, man. It's just all the responsibility fell on me because my one brother who actually lives back east, he passed in 2022 from COVID the same time I passed, but I was in the emergency room. They brought me back with, I guess it's called the defibrillator. And they had I woke up, they pat me on they had me on this oxygen machine breathing for me, whereas he was at home. And by the time the paramedics got there, they couldn't resuscitate him. So when I'm telling you guys, man, in my opinion, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you, man, my past transgressions, and I'm sharing with you what I would do differently if I could. Honor your parents, man. Show love to your mother and father. How do you do that? By sacrificing time to be with them even if you don't think they're the best person. You got to do what's right, man, in this life, because how you treat your parents is a reflection, dude, of how you view love and compassion, dude, and generosity, dude, and empathy. And it's also, man, teaching your kids or loved ones how to teach you when you're in a time of need. So without further ado, I'm getting the topic of today's video, which is going to really be an interesting look into the life of maximum security prison. From my experience, I can't speak about other cats, man. You know, I see all these other cats on their prison channels talking about this, that. They had their experiences. They not a mixed race dude. They didn't never done time outside of their state. They into the gang banging life, criminal activity. I'm a square dude that got caught up. So please respect that my experiences is different, and I'm sharing this with you youngsters and square dudes and OGs, and the fact that if you have somebody in your family that's involved in criminal activity, you share my videos so that they know to cease and desist, because, man, it's nothing but death and destruction going down that path. So without further ado, the topic of today's video is the #1 reason that Asian and others are the most respected gangs in maximum security prison. So even though I said I'm going to keep this video, it's going to be a long video, I'm going to get straight to the point, because there's a lot of points I want to share with you guys, and this is my opinion based on my experiences and what I saw. I haven't been to every maximum security prison, but I did time in maximum security prison in California in 5 different prisons, and I did time in maximum security prison in Pennsylvania in 2 different prisons when I was youth authority. They have maximum security for youth. So I've seen a lot in my day. And I want to share with you my opinion. The #1 reason that Asians and others are the most respected gangs in maximum security prison is this, man. It's called the FOB mentality. And FOB, if you have another word for it, share it with me in the comments, man. If you understand what I'm saying, put a 1 in the comment. If you know the other term, then put it in the comments for me. But FOB stands for fresh off the boat. And what that means is this, guys. You got guys coming straight from Vietnam. I know a lot of Vietnamese dudes. If you're from Sacramento, you know about the large Vietnamese community, put a 5 in the comment section. It's a lot of Vietnamese dudes, man, up in Sacramento, fresh off the boat, speaking Vietnam, whatever they speak. It's a lot of cats, man, in Sacramento, straight from Russia, fresh off the boat, speaking Russian, with their Russian businesses. They got these little communities where they don't need to speak English. I don't know, you know, they doing their cooking and restaurants and laundries, and they running their businesses, gambling houses, prostitution. It's like a self-contained community. They don't need to speak English because they doing their currency. They living in the establishment. They just doing their thing. And it's normally a front for drugs and prostitution and sex trafficking, in my opinion, in my experience. The same thing with the Russians. I've seen a lot of Chinese dudes when I lived in San Francisco. They got a place called Chinatown. A lot of cats is FOB, fresh off the boat. They got connections with the Chinese mafia. They come over here on the fishing boats, man, underneath with the fucking luggage and shit. Ain't got no papers, but they got connections with officials, because I just want to be honest with you. Some of your government officials, like your senators and your governors and things, man, your mayors, your politicians, they're in bed with the Chinese mafia, the Russian mafia, the Vietnamese mafia. They get a kickback from their illegal gambling houses. Like if you've been to San Francisco, or you've been to Sacramento, or you've been down to Monterey County, you see these like gambling houses, man. And dude, if you walk up in there, man, first of all, you better have some money. Second of all, you better have eyes on the back of your head. You see the guys standing around, these Asian dudes. They're all assassins and killers, man. They're security. They're smoking motherfuckers, FOB, fresh off the boat. This is my experience. So when you go to maximum security prison, the #1 reason Asians and others are the most respected gangs in maximum security prison is the FOB mentality. Here's the FOB mentality. A lot of these cats are over here, man. They got false paperwork. They got fake IDs, fake birth certificate, fake social security numbers. If you don't believe me, if you're a square dude, Just if you get a chance, befriend a dude on the other side of town, man. But be careful about it and ask him about, is it possible to get a fake ID, a fake birth certificate, fake social security number? They got businesses that run that. That's why the immigration thing is so corrupt in America. These cats is over here on false paperwork. Some of them is over here illegally, a lot. Some of them is over here in the process of, they wanted to try to come over here on a fucking a work visa, but then they want to try to get their naturalization, immigration. They find out that America is not the Disneyland dream that was painted to be. They found out that a lot of the people that invited them over, on the front, it was like a legitimate business. Oh, you're going to work in the sewing house, or you're going to work in the massage parlor, or you're going to work in a nightclub, or you're going to be distributing poker chips. On the front, it's a legitimate business, but on the back, it's a lot of drug trafficking, dude, sex trafficking, prostitution, human smuggling, selling organs and shit. So the FOB mentality, dude, is fresh off the boat, meaning this, dude. I'm over here with the legal paperwork. I do what the fuck I want. I extort you for money, I fucking kill you. Because in my country, I'm poor, and all I got is my word and my balls. I break them for nobody, and I fucking kill your fucking ass. And for those of you who don't like my Asian interpretation, I apologize. I haven't spent a lot of time around Asian people like real deep. I do have some Chinese friends. I got some Vietnamese friends. I got some Japanese friends. I got Korean friends. But, the businesses that we do is all legitimate. I do know that there is a seedy side, but I don't get involved in that. Like when I go to their fish market and I go, hey, man, what's going on back there? What you guys shoving inside the fish's body? My friend, don't worry about that, my friend. You just worry about weighing the fish you want to eat. You want salmon, you want trout, or you want tilapia, my friend. Don't look back there. See no evil, hear no evil, my friend. Aso sake. And I stay in my lane. So then when you get to maximum security prison, a lot of these cats, man, either they got false paperwork, dude, they got no paperwork, dude, or they in the process of getting paperwork. And here's the thing. A lot of them is over here on nefarious business, dude. They got the mentality they fresh off the boat. A lot of murders happen in Sacramento, in San Francisco, and Los Angeles, dude. Like with the Asian community. Because these motherfuckers, I don't know the name of their gangs, dude. I don't know if it's the Dark Triad, the Asaki, or the Japanese Mafia. If you know the names, put them in the comment section. The Chinese, I don't know. I just know my experiences being in the nightclub life. And then I used to work for a couple of nightclub owners that was drug dealers. They was nightclub owners, but it was a front to launder their drug money. And I'd have to be in situations where we would go to these Asian clubs and they was like collecting money for somebody. I don't know who the somebody was, but they'd be like, hey, big man, don't let nobody come in this door without you checking with me, and don't let nobody come out if I don't come out first. And if any of those two things happen, man, you handle that situation. And for YouTube purposes, I'm not going to say what handle that situation was, but just let me just say this to you for those who can read between the lines. I was not naked. I'm going to leave it like that. I was heavily clothed. So that experience opened my eyes, and I'm not saying all Asian people. I'm saying Asian people involved with the nightclub industry, the gambling industry, and the dry cleaning, dude, and the laundry, and restaurants, dude. It's all the front for drug trafficking, dude, and human trafficking, sex trafficking. So why is this important? Asians, man, are very, very smart when they come over here to fish off the boat, dudes. They're here on a mission. They're not here to get acclimated. They're here to get this money, to enforce policies, dude, to carry out hits, to extort people. They're here strictly for business. They're not here to get caught up in all this other Americanized, girls just want to have fun, seeking pleasure. So, man, they might come over here, do a hit, and they might leave. They might come over here to extort some money, and it goes bad. They smoke some fools. The cops come. They get arrested. And here's the three things that happen. Either the cops don't understand they got fake paperwork, so they process them under their alias John Doe, whatever they got, their social security number, birth certificate, and their papers, dude. Or the cops realize, man, this dude ain't who he says he is, and they go ahead and prosecute him, dude. But let me tell you something, man. I want to share my experience. When they deporting these people, it's not as easy as what Trump is saying he's going to do, or maybe he's got a new policy, or maybe the way it is. They end up in maximum security prison waiting deportation. It's just like, say you're from another state and you smoke a dude, man, and they give you a 187, which stands for murder, and you a new Folsom with me. But then as they running your paperwork, they do the FBI, national search, and they find out you got a murder in Cleveland, Ohio. They're going to work on the paperwork to extradite your ass back to Cleveland so you can face the charges. And then maybe Cleveland's going to lock you up. Or you finish your term, because in California maximum security prison, there's $80,000 a year for each inmate to be housed. 60 to 80,000. Google it. The state's going to get their money, man. So they let you do your 10 years or your 5 or whatever it is you're going to do. Then they turn you over. So when they got these illegal Asians, man, like these Koreans and these Vietnamese and these Chinese, the triad, these cats, man, they're going to be extraditing them back to their country after they did their time, dude. It's not like you think, or what at least when I was in prison. So why is this important? Hey, man, they know they on limited time, man. They up in the prison, bro. Don't nothing stop in prison. They still doing their fucking sex trafficking. They doing their drug trafficking. They doing their extortion. But what they do, I want to share this with you about Asian people. And anybody lived in Northern California, put a 10 in the comments, man. Asians stick to themselves. I'm talking about the FOBs, the fresh off the boats. I'm not talking about the American ones. They got a closed culture, a closed society. They only do business within their own little section, man. So the Vietnamese will do business with the Chinese, and the Chinese will do business with the Koreans with the Japanese with the Samoans with the Tongans, and the Tongans with the Fijians. They have a very tight little group. They keep their money. They spend their money in-house, dude. They let their money circulate there. They don't do no business with other races, dude. They don't do business with the blacks, whites, Mexicans, nobody. So when I was in maximum security prison, the others was the cats that was like the Asian dudes. It was like Vietnamese, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Samoan, Tongan, and Fijian, like the Asian Pacific Islander types, right? Now, you did have some dropout wannabes, like, the Russians got their own thing going on. But let's say I saw some mixed race dudes. Let's say a dude was half black, half white, or half black, half Mexican, or half Mexican, half white, or half Asian, half white, or half black, half white. He just mixed. And he couldn't ride with his people, man. So then he would just go in and join the Asian, and he would join the others, man, for protection. But see, here's the problem. You got a price to pay. But let me end this video. I'm going to get into the topic, man, which is basically the number one reason Asian and others are the most respected gangs in maximum security prison. Because, man, they operate on a Buddhist IDAF mentality. Like, it's a I don't give a fuck, man. Most Asians, dude, I'm sharing this with you, my experience, the fresh off the boat ones. And if you guys live in a metropolitan area like New York or Chicago, and you see Asians there, those Asians are acclimated into our society and acculturated into American culture and society. So they're trying to get in to fit in. They're trying to live the American dream. They're trying to become a naturalized citizen and get their green card. So they with the program, let's call it. If you ever had the unfortunateness of going to San Francisco into Chinatown, or you going to Sacramento, you going to Chinatown or Russia Town or Vietnamese town, and you don't know nobody, man, or you in LA and Chinatown, man, and these Vietnamese towns, man, or you in Long Beach, you going into Little Samoa or Little Tonga, and you don't know nobody, you're not invited, you quickly get to understand that this is a closed society, bro. They only do business with their own. They ain't open to outsiders. And so in maximum security prison, they have the smallest group, but they're the most committed to the Buddhist philosophy that even if you kill the body, the spirit lives on. They believe in, I don't know if they believe in reincarnation or the universal source or whatever. I've been studying Buddhism, but along with studying Hinduism and Confucianism, dude, and Luciferianism and Rosicrucianism and the Abrahamic religions, dude, it's a lot to study, man. Then I'm studying about the Nephilim, dude, and the aliens and demons. It's a lot, man. Like, my esoteric studies take me all over the place, so I really can't fine-tune and specialize in one. But what I do know, they don't have a fear of dying. And I want to share this with you. I don't want to make this a political video. But for those of you who are born like you're a baby boomer like me, we know. We lost the war in Vietnam, dude. Like, they kicked us up out of there. Hey, man, them Vietnamese dudes ain't afraid to die, but when they die, they taking 100 motherfuckers with them, dude. Their culture almost reminds me of like the Muslims, man. I'm talking about the real Muslims over there in Syria, dude, and Hamas, them kind of cats. They'll just walk into a military camp with a bomb and they'll just explode it. Allah Akbar! Because they have a different belief than we do. That's all I'm saying. So let me end this video and tell you this, man. The number one reason, in my opinion, in my experiences in the maximum security prisons I've been in, that the Asian and others are the most respected gangs in maximum security prison, man. It's because, dude, they know they on a limited time, whether it's in this body, this space, this sphere. And if you're looking aggressive upon them, dude, they will give their life to smoke your bitch ass because they stay to themselves. They don't bother nobody. They ain't trying to make no new friends. They not trying to make alliances. You don't even know what's going on with the Asians, man. The Asians, dude, you don't know that they moving drugs, and I don't know if they practice homosexuality or prostitution. I don't know for sure. I've just seen some effeminate-looking Asian dudes, you know, walking around with some savage-looking Asian dudes, and they walking mighty close together. And I can deduce, I can put two and two together, but I don't have any concrete evidence because I never was in a cell with an Asian, and I never was in a cell next to an Asian to hear what goes on at night. But I know one thing for sure, the Samoans and the Tongans and the Fijians, man, hey, man, they the most respected dudes in prison because they big and strong. Let me tell you something about Samoans and Tongans and Fijians, their bone structure. And I'm speaking from personal experience. This is not conjecture. When I was stationed in San Francisco, dude, I started bouncing in. I was working in a nightclub called The Paradigm. If you guys know about The Paradigm back in the 80s, dude, then put a 100 in the comment, man. It was a very awesome nightclub in downtown San Francisco. I think it was off Valencia Street, but don't quote me. I don't remember all the streets down there. Maybe it was off Lombard, dude. I don't remember. But it was a poppin' nightclub, man. I worked there. Some of my bouncing friends was Samoan and Tongan. We used to lift weights together. The Samoans I knew didn't believe in martial arts because they big, tall specimens, big ass bones, man, a lot of muscle, a lot of fat too. It's like a bear. But the one thing I noticed with Samoans, man, they was cool, man. Like we was cool when we was bouncing and we lifting weights together and stuff. But then when you hang out with them, you go to their house. Once they get to drinking, Samoans just like to fight. Samoans and Tongans, they're like American Indians to me. Once they get some firewater in them, they want to fight. And then even if you're their friend, fighting is part of their culture. And here's another thing, you can quickly lose your friendships. If you're another race, you go to a Samoan dude's or a Tongan dude's house, and he's got a hot sister, and you try to hit on her, man, that's a no-go, big homie. They ain't playing that. But one thing I learned, man, when I was fighting with Samoans, man, like, you can't fight a Samoan like you fight a regular dude. It's just, they're like a bear. They got big bones and shit, and they got a lot of muscle, a lot of fat on top of it. So you have to learn to hit them in strategic areas. And since this is a positive video on YouTube, I'm not going to give you any strategic points where you hit them. I'm just giving you an example. Like, they can take a licking and keep on ticking. If you fight them the regular way, hey, my friend, you're going to lose because they can take a licking, and you got to know where to hit the Samoan in a certain way and a certain speed and tempo and frequency to take him down. And that's just how it is, man. So in maximum security prison, when I was setting the powerlifting records, the Samoans was right after me, man. They was right after me because they strong as hell. I remember one time I was in Fresno, California, man. I seen a Tongan dude, man, wrestle a fucking cow, snap his neck, man, and then put him in the back of his truck. He stole the cow from a farmer with his bare hands. He wrestled it with his head. He snapped his neck. Then he put him on his motherfucking, yeah, by himself. I seen it. They got superhuman strength. But the more the video is, in my opinion, based on my experience, I can't speak on anybody else's experience. This is why the number one reason why Asians and others are the most respected gangs in maximum security prison is because they have the FOB mentality of IDAF. I don't give a fuck. If you're gonna aggress upon me and fuck with me and you try to break into our inner circle, I don't give a fuck. I'll take my life. I'll give my life taking your life because I have a universal consciousness that my spirit never dies, only the flesh dies. And that's my experience and understanding. If you have a different experience and understanding, leave me your thoughts in the comment because I'm always open to grow. I can only speak about my experiences on the West Coast and the East Coast. I didn't know any Asians or Samoans or Fijians or Koreans or Chinese when I was on the East Coast. Maybe it's because I was from the hood, but when I was living in California and Vegas, I got to meet a lot of them. And I worked with them, dude. I trained with them. I hung out with them. So this is my experience. I was incarcerated with them. If you guys have a different experience, leave a comment in the comment section. And most importantly, if you stuck with me this far, thumbs up the video. And if you'd like to know more about my experiences, I'm going to give you a series where I'm going to talk about the Mexicans and the whites and the blacks. If that's something you're interested in, put a 500 in the comment. But most importantly, man, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification all button so you know the next time I'm doing uploading a video. Until next time, OG Silverback, out.